everyone, it's Kristie with AG Takes Over. I am so glad you're here for day 4 of AG Fashion Week. And I have to tell you, if you've been watching day 1, 2, and 3, I have been saying it's the last 5 days in April all week, and I have to keep going in and editing and putting a little blurb that says, actually, due to a typo, it's 7 days this year. Last year I did the last 5 days in April, and this week I put the last week in April, and so it made it like the full week, and people had already started preparing and I didn't want to change it up, so it's 7 days. I only made 5 videos, so tomorrow will be my last video. But next year we'll see. Might be 5, it might be 7, but just for planning purposes, it's always at the end of April. Maybe we'll split the difference and make it the last 6 and just keep throwing people off. I don't know. It'll be the last part of April. Anyway, if you are just tuning in, I am wearing a different outfit than I was for days 1, 2, and 3, and I'm being back to that outfit for day 5. I had to pause on this one because I was waiting for one last element of this outfit to call it good and take the pictures and everything. So, I have been using this spinner, and I've got a bunch of celebrities' names on there. A friend came over last night and I told her what the concept was for this because I'm filming it in mid-April. And she was like, tell me you put Dolly Parton on there as a celebrity. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally should have. And I didn't. And that would have been hilarious because imagine doing an American Girl doll with 2 watermelons on the front of her chest. But no, I didn't. Again, if I do this in the future, I want your suggestions. Who do you think I need to add to the list? But for this year, as a quick reminder, it was Harry Styles, SZA, Billie Eilish, who we already did, Lady Gaga, Chappel Roan, Amy Winehouse, who we already did, Queen Elizabeth, Cher, the Olsen twins, and Billy Porter, who we already did. So Billy Porter, Billie Eilish, and Amy Winehouse have already been done. I'm going to pause. I'm going to show you the recording of when I did the spinner and who it picked next, and then I'll be right back to talk about what I did and what my approach was. Chappel Roan. Chappel freaking Roan. The most obvious thing, and this was my original plan, was to do this outfit. You know, the all I can think of is the Pink Pony Club outfit. One of the new outfits that's reversible from American Girl. My wife bought it recently because we had a reward that we needed to use up. And so I was like, well, I have that. I'm just going to use that. That's easy. I didn't say this to my wife. And the first thing she says is, well, if it landed on Chappell Roan, don't do the Pink Pony outfit because everybody's already going to be using that for her. And I was like, I was just trying to make my life easy. I just thought, well, yeah, that's a good, easy, like it's practically done. And she was like, yeah, it's good. It's easy. It's practically done. So I'm going to insert a picture here. But I was like, fair. I don't always pick the easy route. So I started looking through some of her more iconic looks, and there are a lot, right? I'm putting pictures up here so you can see them periodically, and maybe one in your head is like the look that she's known for, but I think she just has a lot of iconic looks. So I decided to go with this one. And the reason is I was like, well, that Bollywood outfit, the Bollywood dance outfit from Covey's collection, again, putting pictures up, has the blue sequin top. So you're like halfway there, right? I mean, that's like a 7th of the way there, but I was like, that's halfway there. And again, I'm not doing any buying for this. So can I really pull this off? Came downstairs, started going through, and I was like, I remember my wife has just a random bag of sequins. Maybe there are some blue sequins in there and I can start working on a bottom. And by the way, at the end, I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing, but I am going to put in a couple like progress shoot photos on this one and tomorrow's video. I'll do the same because today's and tomorrow's involved a little bit more making of things. So I kind of want to show you like that progress. Anyway, I came down, found the bag of sequins in the crafting mountain of stuff, and went back up and started taking out every single blue sequin. And then the Chappell Roan's outfit has these stars right here. It has a white collar, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that. Also, her outfit doesn't have sleeves, and I'm obviously not altering the Bollywood shirt, so we're just going to have sleeves on it, whatever. But I was like, it has these stars on there, and amazingly, this bag of random, sorry, my legs are not comfortable. This bag of random sequins had stars in it. So I was like, oh, grab those and put all the blue ones aside. And then I was like, all right, what do I put them on? Got a bunch of sequins. What am I going to do with these? Well, we have some tulle ribbon, and it was like, I don't know, 4 inches, 5 inches wide. And when it's all on a roll, you're like, oh, that's bright blue. That's going to be perfect. And then you pull it out and you see one sheet and you're like, I can see it's like so thin. So I layered like 8 layers of it to make it a little thicker. And then I laid the doll down on the table and kind of drew around and got a piece of paper and was like, all right, well, that's my template. And that's the front. And then I turned the doll over and traced around. All right, well, that's the back. This is going to be covered up anyway. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'll just hot glue, like I'll hot glue these two, like the front and the back here, this seam together, and then this seam, and then I'll slide it on, and then I'll, do this with the crotch and hot glue right here and make sure it doesn't get on the doll, but just like be real careful. And I'm going to cover it up with sequins anyway, so what do I care? Am I going to sew every sequin on there? No, I'm going to hot glue them. So for several hours, I don't know how long, I'm hot gluing with tweezers, 1 sequin at a time on my little makeshift tulle hot glued underpants in rows. Pause, got to go somewhere, do some things, come back that night, do some more. It was over like, I don't know, day and a half or something. It's not like I worked on it all day long. And then she's got these epaulets they kind of go out here, and they've got fringe coming down from them, and they're all gold. And I was like, all right, well, cardboard is the base. And then we happen to have some like shimmery gold scrapbooking paper. Pretty sure I know where that is. And we have a crap ton of ribbon. Like I probably have something that'll work. So I went down, grabbed my supplies, came back up. And I'm like, all right, I do this. So I made the epaulets with hot glue, like cardboard, and then the sparkly paper covering it. And then the ribbon just went around here, and I made it into fringe. And the ribbon also had these edges to it. So I made the little cord that she has coming down, I think on her left shoulder, with the edging of the ribbon. And I doubled the ribbon in half, and that was what made the belt. Oh, no, hold on. I gotta tell you something. So I got the underwear, whatever, the bottom part of her leotard on, and I'm doing the sequins, and I'm like 3/4 of the way done with the sequins. I didn't make them go all the way around to the butt. I made them go like here past the seam. And I was like, that's good enough because nobody's going to see it from behind except me. And I don't have to share it if I don't want to. So I had gotten like this much of the waist, not quite around to the seams, but like this much. And then I was like, oh man, she has gold tights on. And we do have a couple pair of gold tights. And I was going to put them on. And I've been like creating this thing on the doll, and I forgot to put the freaking tights on. And Grace said, just like gently tug and see if you can get them to come off, and if it looks like it's going to mess it up, then don't. I was like, all right. And I did, and they came off, and I got Julie's Christmas outfit tights and put those on and gently put the undies back on. And I had recently gotten Julie's go-go outfit, disco outfit, and I was like, the white boots, they're not the same as the ones that she uses in the video. I'll try to see if I can grab a screenshot of the boots that she has in the video. If not, whatever. And I'll use those white boots. And then anyway, got the thing back on, then started kind of putting together the epaulets are on. They're not even glued on or anything because I don't want to mess with I don't want to mess up the Bollywood shirt, right? So because this is on sequins and the ribbon like hanging down is kind of like grabbing onto the sequins, they're just resting on there. And I put the belt on, which makes it look like the Bollywood top and the undies that I made are all one big piece. And she's got like a flag football kind of gold thing hanging down on the right side of her waist. And I'm like, all right, well, I can do that with the same gold ribbon I'm using for everything else. So check. I did adhere the stars with glue dots, but I just like barely put them on because I don't want them to pull anything when I take them off. I really want to protect that Bollywood shirt. So then I was like, all right, great. I have Covey's stage, so I've got like her little concert area. We're good there. And it's really just about like who is going, sorry, this is not comfortable. It's really about the wig at this point. So I have a red, maybe this long wig. No, it's like this. It's like a cute little wavy bob. The red is more orange red than like brick red or wine red. And I think her hair, at least at that point in that outfit, was a little bit more like wine red. That's not the issue. It's that it was so short and it wasn't curly. It was just like a nice loose waves, like beachy waves. So that wasn't going to work. My wife was like, I actually did order from Zazu Custom Dolls on Etsy a wig that I think looks very much like Chappell Roan's wig. And I was like, cool, I'll just use that. And then she was like, well, it was a pre-order. Let me see when it's going to get here. And it was not due to get here until after Fashion Week. All right. And I was like, oh, remember when I customized Kenzie? When I customized a Felicity doll that I was gifted and I turned her into Kenzie, that I used for Amy Winehouse this week. I kept her wig. Like, it was in bad shape, but I just kept it because you never know. And I could use that. I could curl that. Yeah, I'll do that. So I couldn't find it for like a day and a half and finally found it. I hadn't added it to my wig inventory for those of you who are saying, well, don't you have this fancy wig organization? I just hadn't added it yet because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, if I was going to keep it or not. Anyway, it was right there by all the wig inventory. I just didn't think to look. And I was like, all right, I'll do, sorry, I feel very like, let me be chill. So it was not the red that I was thinking it would be. I don't know if it was like the Be Forever Felicity doesn't have as much of red hair. It was definitely like brunette, leaning more brown if we're honest. So that was disappointing, but I'm making do with what I have, right? Not buying anything. And I curled it with pipe cleaners. The entire thing with pipe cleaners. Friends, I don't know what I was thinking. It was like an Orphan Annie wig. It was like a Shirley Temple wig. I'll show you a picture of like what it looked like before, what it looked like once it was all done with the pipe cleaners. I forgot to take a picture of after I took them out. But what I did was just steamed the whole thing. I have a steamer and I like held it up and just steamed so that would set the curls. And then I let it dry overnight. And then the next morning I took all the pipe cleaners out and it was like, it was like a 58's wig, right? Like adorable, totally not appropriate for the look that I was going for. And then I was like, if you have watched my channel, I don't freak out about stuff that easily. So I was like, whatever, it's fine. So on my lunch break from work, I took the wig back downstairs and I like set it on our Swiffer handle and I got the steamer out again and I just steamed a couple curls at a time and just tugged. Like I didn't want to take all the curl out or I would have done like a hot water dunk or a flat iron or something. I just wanted to like stretch them out and it worked. It worked great. So I'm very pleased with how her wig came out. And I don't know, I think it was like spot on. The color is not spot on. Like the side by side is going to be with a filter on that makes it look a lot more the color that Chappell Roan's hair is in the side by side. So yeah, I'm really excited to show her to you. I think what I'm going to do is pause, grab her, and then kind of show you everything and then end with a couple progress pictures and then her photo shoot. All right, here she is. She's hot to go. So I know this is very bright, but even the back that I just kind of didn't do anything with it. Like I didn't tuck it and make sure it's really tapered. It still doesn't look bad. Like if I took pictures from behind, it's not like it looks bad. It just looks really nice here. And Chappells are like very high leg, like thigh whatever, high cut. That's the word, high cut. And I don't know why I didn't do it that way. It didn't occur to me until later. But yeah, here's her little flag football thingy, her ribbon belt, her sequins, and let me move the hair so you can see well, I can just take it off because, there we go. So that's just cardboard and glue and ribbon and paper, and they come right on there. And this is a Felicity wig. And in the picture, you know, her hair's kind of like blowing, or she's flinging it or something in the side-by-side picture that I'm going to use. So I tried to like get it to just look like it had some movement to it, like I didn't cut any bangs or anything, but yeah, I am really proud of this one. This is Margot. She's a Julie that doesn't have a wig that we use sometimes, and I think this turned out great. I'm super excited about this one. Of all this week's, I like all of them. I think they're all successful. I feel like today's and tomorrow's require the most like talent and work on my part, so I'm most excited about them. Which is probably why they were saved for last. So anyway, pictures coming up soon. This part, if you skip forward like 20 seconds, if you have been watching all week, there's a playlist on my channel that has all of last year's videos. I am collecting all of this year's videos, and I'll make a playlist for this one. You can participate still if you have a channel and you want to just create a video real quickly that is fashion focused. You've got tomorrow and then the 2 days after that, so the rest of this month. And you are also welcome to participate over on Instagram. Just use the hashtag #AGFashionWeek. I hope that you're enjoying all the content. I'm trying to keep my videos short so that you can also watch everybody else's, and I am like eating up the content. So, all right, take care. Tell your dolls I said hey, and come on back tomorrow.